if they say that the world gets dropped from under you, that's pretty much what happened, because everything that I identified myself with in terms of a woman, a mother, a wife, I couldn't dress myself. I couldn't brush my teeth. I certainly never thought of myself as pretty during those times because I couldn't even comb my hair. My body wasn't mine. I had no control over it. It was just in a lot of pain. I wanted to get out of it. I always say it was the best gift I ever had. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis in 2011. RA is it's a horrible disease. It strikes you. It struck me in the middle of the night. I literally woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Both of my knees were the size of watermelons, and I'm not kidding, I couldn't move. I was in so much pain. It felt like every bone in my body was breaking. It was that instantaneous. It was overnight. And I rushed to the ER. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They sent me to a bunch of experts. I got blood test after blood test, and finally the blood test came back for advanced RA, which I guess my numbers were so high that they just were saying, you know, it's rapidly destroying your body. You're going to be in deep trouble if you don't quickly get on pharmaceuticals and try and at least slow the progress. There wasn't any, you're going to be okay, this is how you heal. It was, this is what you're in for, forget about dancing, forget about movement, just try and stay out of a wheelchair for as long as you can. But there was a very strong feeling every time I looked at my son that he deserved a lot better, that he deserved at least for me to give it my best shot. And so that's what happened. I made a pact with him. He was 2, and I said I will do everything I can to make sure that he doesn't have a gimpy mom. I actually sat in 2 doctors' offices. I went to 2 specialists, and I said to both of them, is there another way? Is there something I can do? First, I wanted to know what caused it, because you can't heal something you don't know what is causing it. But inside me, I kind of knew what caused it. I had been really stressed out. I didn't have a perfect diet. I had an idea that I kept hitting the override button on the stress levels, and I kind of thought, you know, maybe the way my life was going was part of the cause. And I said, okay, how can you treat a disease when you don't even know what the cause is? It's like somebody dropping a rock on your foot and saying, take an aspirin, instead of taking the rock off your foot. You know what I mean? What's causing the problem? So I did a lot of research, and I found that there were a lot of people, not a lot, but there was information out there that said that a diet change, a mind change, you know, little lifestyle changes could make a difference. And in fact, that's what happened. And the last doctor that I went to looked at me and said, you'll be back in 5 days. This is too painful. When I told him that I was going to try some alternatives, and he actually said I was stupid. And I looked at him, and that was the last doctor I ever saw. And I went home and took a good look at my son and had some pretty dark moments because I was in a lot of pain, and there was a lot of fear, and I had a lot of everybody telling me that, you know, maybe you should just do what the doctors tell you. For RA, the worst thing is waking up in the morning, at least for me, because everything is really painful in the morning. I actually used to cry before I would go to sleep because I just didn't want to wake up. It was just that bad. But Zumba has a way of somehow in a 1 hour with the music and the dancing and the energy, and I say energy not lightly because I think it's really the catalyst of the class, of shifting, at least for me, I was able to shift from fear to hope. And I had gotten an email saying, you know, the city of Santa Barbara is looking for a Zumba instructor. And I flew out here and interviewed. And it was really kind of comical because I had my knees wrapped. I was in the car. My girlfriend helped me into the elevator here. And And I went in and I sat down and I smiled and I said, I can teach Zumba and I'm really cool. And I got into the elevator and they called me in the car and said I got the job. And that was it. I moved out here and started swaying from side to side. But I had also changed my diet and I had already felt within the first week things were getting a little bit better. It's hard to explain what happened. All I know is that every minute I can dance, I don't take it for granted. And I think people feel that. I think they resonate with that. Obviously, people are getting something out of this. I have no symptoms at all. Been in complete remission for 5 years. I hope to be part of the movement that I'm not an anomaly and that every single human being can do, or at least should understand that there is a way to heal naturally. There is a way to heal naturally.